And welcome back, everyone. Before we get a check on the weather, I want to go back over to Andrew. Andrew, we just learned some new news relating to some transportation.
We've covered rail systems on Long Island and the Hudson Valley, New York City, and New Jersey. Now we're finding out that the PATH system that goes between New Jersey and New York will go to a reduced weekend schedule at 9 p.m. And then, like everything else, it's shutting down at 11 o'clock. So again, PATH trains closing down at 11, reduced schedule after 9. Rich?
So basically, roads and rails here, 9 or 11 o'clock, depending where you are, that's it, right?
And pretty much forget about the airports as well. I mean, it's everything is pretty much grinding to a halt.
And clearly, Jamie, we've seen this since we saw Hurricane Sandy. One of the lessons learned from the local county levels, obviously all the utilities, and certainly from the state level, the more they can keep people off the roads, the easier it is to both preventatively and then also post to do all the cleanup here. But give an idea what we should be looking at, I guess, throughout this evening and well into tomorrow.
Well, through the evening, we've already got the snow out there. We had it through the afternoon. It was light to moderate in some areas, but then it's intensifying, and it's continuing to do so over Long Island as we speak. And the storm's going to gradually deliver some snow, steady and heavy, through the evening, really packing a punch as we head toward midnight and thereafter. So we have a blizzard warning for much of the area because we're going to meet the standards of a blizzard. You need heavy falling or blowing snow, sustained winds, or gusts, frequent gusts of 35 miles per hour at the minimum, and visibility reduced to a quarter of a mile. And all of this for 3 consecutive hours, and that's what we're going to get. The most intense will be after we head past midnight. We'll have that intense snow. We'll have the snow coming down 2 to 4 inches per an hour. It's going to be a light, fluffy snow, so it's going to accumulate very quickly as this storm intensifies. We also have the winds gusting 40 to 50 miles per hour across the region. That little plus there is for central and eastern end of the island, where we could be seeing gusts 60 miles per hour or higher, and all of this going to be reducing visibility down to a quarter mile or less, even down to 0. And this is in the middle of the night, so it's going to be very dangerous to travel. It's going to lead to some treacherous conditions on the roadways or anywhere you want to go, even to walk. If we do get power outages, you don't want to try to head out and go somewhere, because walking, it's going to be extremely dangerous. And we already have the cold air in place. It's only in the low 20s for the day. We'll be in the teens overnight. With the winds, it's going to feel like it's below 0.
You know, Jamie, we were just out in Jersey before on the coast. How concerned should folks be, I guess, on parts of the island and also on parts of the Jersey Shore in terms of coastal flooding?
That is a concern as well, because at the brunt of the storm, where it intensifies, that's where we're going to be dealing with our high tide cycles. And we're expected 2 to 4 feet above normal with these intense winds coming north-northeast. It'd be the north shore of the island getting the brunt of it, but still, South Shore could still see that high tide cycle above normal, as well as the Jersey Shore. So that's going to lead to some coastal flooding. Then you have the waves up to 5 feet, and that'll lead to some beach erosion. And that'll be through the night, through past midnight. Toward 7 o'clock is when that coastal flood warning is dropped, because high tide cycles are around 3 to about 5 a.m., maybe a little after, depending on your location.
And finally, and I know we're heavy guys, but so tomorrow, by midday, you'd say we've seen the worst of it?
Right. We're still dealing with some snow, a little accumulation. It's a light, fluffy snow, so it's going to be easy to accumulate, but it's winding down by then. So you're going to be out, and they're going to be trying to clean up.
And we get a reprieve until the end of the week, when we're going to get a few more flakes, right?
Yeah, we could see a little more snow showers.
Not to bring everybody further down.
Another update, Rich. The Port Authority is announcing all of its bridges and tunnels will close at 11 o'clock tonight. So that's the George Washington Bridge, the 2 tunnels through the Hudson, as well as the Staten Island crossings, the Bayonne Bridge, the Goethals, the Outer Bridge. Basically, you need to be where you're going to be by 11 o'clock or you're not going to get there. Yep. So every Hudson River crossing is closing at 11 p.m. tonight.
Let's bring in right now Michael Friedman. He's given us the latest look at the roads here. Michael, Andrew just told everybody, get to where you're going sooner than later, because you're not going to be allowed to when it gets too late tonight.
Yeah, we got one big closing to show you, Richard, in Westchester County, but a couple of troubles spots here. On the Cross County eastbound now, we have a crash between exits 4 and 5. That's the intersection with the Bronx River Parkway. And on the Bronx River Parkway itself, we have a crash on the southbound side at exit 6. Taconic State Parkway. You see this solid red tube that indicates this highway or this parkway is shut down. You cannot use the Taconic Parkway anymore for the rest of this storm. Reduced service 5 to 8 o'clock on the Metro North lines. After that, probably no service at all until further notice, till the storm is over. The LIE has been very, very slow in both directions from Queens all the way out to about Dix Hills. And the Southern State, not much better, with heavy delays mainly in both directions, right out of Queens, right across Belmore and Wantagh, and all the way out to about South Farmingdale, although the Southern State does appear to be seeing the volume lightening up and easing up. LIRR is all on time, but of course, again, after about 9 o'clock, those lines will be probably shutting down. And we've seen consistent heavy delays on the Turnpike, southbound, getting past Newark Airport, down through Woodbridge, down through Carteret, and down to about New Brunswick, and also heavy delays in both directions on 287 through the Edison area. And again, it looks like, well, the two spurs, this is the Turnpike, looks like it's moving a little bit better. Now, as for New Jersey Transit, last train's at 8 o'clock, and on the PATH train, regular service till 9 p.m., Richard, and then after that, every 15 minutes only on the PATH train, Newark to the Trade Center and Journal Square to 33rd Street. Back over to you.
Well, thank you very much. And Andrew, we've, as people have seen, we've had reports fanned out throughout the region here. We're going to get a couple more reports now.
Yeah, let's go around the region as best we can, Rich. First up to New Jersey and Perth Amboy. We'll get the latest on the road preps there. Reporter Raven Santana joins us now live. Raven, how's everybody getting ready?
I'm live inside the dome with almost 800 tons of salt, and salt spreaders will be making their way in and out of this Perth Amboy facility as crews brace for that blizzard. And if you take a look over here, this pile of salt is the first line of defense as workers try to keep the roads safe.
As the tri-state area braces for heavy snow, the Department of Public Works has already been prepping streets throughout Perth Amboy with plows and salt trucks. Jose Vega is the heavy equipment operator here and says 9 trucks have been running every hour, scooping about 70 tons of salt and mixture per trip out of the 800 tons that is currently stocked here.
Right here we have on my right is all pure salt. In the middle I have the calcium salt. I have on the left sand mixed with salt. The calcium salt is for the big trucks. The smaller trucks that I cannot put the calcium salt.
Okay.
It's just regular salt without the liquid.
He says the big trucks focus on the main streets while the smaller trucks focus on the residential areas. And crews aren't the only ones bracing for snow, so are residents. We spoke with people at a nearby ShopRite that was filled with cars and shoppers grabbing last-minute essentials.
You would think the world was coming to an end the way they're grabbing, and that's the last one, so everyone is trying to get so they don't have to come back out.
What are you going to get in there?
Water, flashlights, they said the electricity might go, stuff like that.
Just try to stay off the roads. If it's not an emergency, just stay off the roads. Let us do our job and we'll clear the streets for you guys. Hopefully the next morning it should be pretty good.
And as you just heard, crews are advising residents to stay off the streets tonight so they can do their job to keep these streets salted and plowed. We're live in Perth Amboy, Raven Santana, FiOS 1 News. Rich?
All right, Raven, it's Andrew, and thank you very much for that report. And let's take a live look at New York City and get a sense of where the snow is right now and how heavy it's coming down. And not exactly sure what part of the city this is, but you can see very pretty, and perhaps most importantly, nobody really moving on the roads, and hopefully that's the way it
You can see
stays.
the wind picking up from both the trees and the street signs there. It's starting to, as we said, that's the worry, right? That we can get 30, 40, 50 mile per hour winds.
Yeah, and those trees could come down, as could any trees in the area, as those winds pick up. More of that is expected tomorrow. And let's continue around the region now. And for the roads, let's go to Lindsay Christian. She joins us now live in Hawthorne with the latest there. Hi, Lindsay.
Hey, Andrew, we are live at the Emergency Operations Center, which was just activated at 4 p.m. today by the county executive. It's fully staffed. They're ready to roll to handle this storm. Now, earlier today, the county executive announced that the B-Line bus service suspends at 8 p.m. for commuters. It will resume Wednesday a.m. with service. The airport is actually still open. However, major carriers are canceling flights. And another note, too, Mass transit, again, 8 p.m. will suspend, and the county executive is urging residents to stay off roads and keep them clear for emergency vehicles.
I obviously can't urge enough for our residents to stay off the roads during the storm tonight, tomorrow. I've been driving around, and the roads are just starting to get very slick now. We expect accumulation to begin.
The county executive is advising residents to call 211 if you have any questions or if you need any updates. And as always, you can check our website at fios1news.com. Reporting in Hawthorne at the Emergency Operations Center, I'm Lindsay Christian for RFL Live. Back to you, Andrew.
All right, Lindsay, thanks very much. And of course, Rich, as we saw people on the roads or not on the roads, as the case may be, nobody's allowed on the roads after 11 o'clock tonight. That's from Ulster County all the way south, including New York City, the Hudson Valley, Long Island.
All right, thank you, Andrew. And when we come back, we're going to head out to Nanuet and speak with folks braving the weather here. We'll have that much more after this.